Everyone, welcome to Daily Insights, Clientology Edition with Jeff Bourgeois. And today I want to talk to you about something that I find very fascinating. It's the scientific method. And I just want to share, first of all, that we have our Clientology growth system. And one of the things we do within the Clientology growth system, it's an 8-week intensive program, and we help you create and publish your first authority book. You can learn more about taking our guided course by visiting the link below or by scanning the QR code. We have a special right now. We're looking for founding fathers and mothers. We're looking for those pioneers. So if you purchase before June 30th, the price is $497. After that, it goes up to the regular price of $5,000. So let's talk about the scientific method. And the rather boring definition is it's an empirical method of acquiring knowledge. Now, you might be thinking, so what, Jeff? That's who cares? I am all about how does this apply to me? And one of the things I find in a business is if somebody is struggling or they're having some growing pains, the natural reaction is to throw everything out and keep starting over. And the problem is we change everything. We throw the baby out with the bathwater. And at the end of the day, we don't know what actually worked. So we might improve our business, but we don't know why it improved. So then we just keep doing more of everything, more of everything, more of everything. The thing about Clientology is it is based on the fundamental concept of the 80-20 principle, which states that 80% of our results come from 20% of our effort. Therefore, we always want to figure out which 20% of our effort brings us the results, do more of that, and then the other 80% of our effort we want to do less of. So part of that is the scientific method. We can't just assume we know what that 20% is that gets us the result. We need to test and measure. By the way, one of the things that Perry Marshall in his book 80-20 Sales and Marketing teaches, and this really blew my mind, is that 80-20 is fractional. And what I mean is, as you go into 80-20, if you do the 80-20 and you realize that 20% of your results generate 80% of your efforts, if you go one layer deeper in that 20%, the math works out to 4% of your effort generates 64% of your results. One layer deeper, 1% of your effort generates roughly 52% of your results. So you want to go deeper, deeper, deeper. And that is what Clientology is about. And so the underlying mindset is about the scientific method. So what we do is we start with one thing we want to improve in our business, whatever that one thing is. And in a previous post, I talked about Toyota's 5 whys. So we want to describe the problem in detail. We want to get to the root cause. We don't want to solve the surface problems. We don't want to solve the symptoms. We need the root cause. So step 1 is describe the problem in detail. And by the way, if you're truly a fan of the scientific method, you'll realize I'm adapting this to Clientology. But Clientology is a science. We want to focus on proving things, collecting data. So step 1, describe the problem in detail. Step 2, you want to research possible solutions to the problem. Now, for the record, I am a big fan of outsourcing. I'm a big fan of bringing in the experts. So this might be researching possible experts to help you solve the problem. You don't need, as a small business owner or as a business owner in general or a manager, you don't need to become an expert at solving all your problems. You need to become an expert at managing the team that will solve your problems. So step 3, in conjunction with your potential partners, you want to formulate a hypothesis. So what can we improve? What can we do to improve it? How can we improve it? This is the parameter. And by the way, most business owners pride themselves on ready, fire, aim, ready, fire, aim. They're always shooting off things, hoping to hit a target. We want to stick to ready, aim, fire. But we also want it to be quick. So how can we design a quick experiment so that we can test our hypothesis? So for example, if we're looking at, maybe we've decided that we need to write an authority book. and again, this is definitely a loaded example because this is what we do. With an authority book, the goal is one book brings us one client. Now, for the record, I don't mean that literally every single book is not going to bring you a client, but on average, if you have 10 books out there, 10 clients should come from those books. So that's the hypothesis. We want to test that. So a simple experiment, when you give the books out, you ask people, you can write in it, have a little code at the back, ask people what the code is so you can track how many clients came from a book. And another simple way to track that is when you meet a new prospect, just ask them, how did you hear about us? If they heard about the book and they came to you through the book, that's data. So over time, and this is what I encourage everybody to do with marketing, is you want to analyze the data. And with marketing dollars, as an example, you want to test the return on investment. How much are you getting for the dollars you spent on marketing? With an authority book, once you've got the book in hand, with Amazon and current pricing, it's usually about $10 a book delivered to your prospect. That's your cost. If that prospect comes back and becomes a client of yours, you should have an immediate positive return on investment. Now, full disclosure, you might have sunk costs like working with a professional to get your book done. In our 8-week intensive program, for example, the cost to that program is $5,000. That's the regular investment. You would add that up, you would add up all of your costs and you would test it over the course of, let's say you have 25 books out there, 30 books, 100. You'd test it over the next year to see at what point did you get your investment back. So at what point did you recover the 5,000? How many clients do you need to do to bring on dream clients to get to that 5,000 mark? And then after that, everything, once you've recovered your fixed sunk costs, everything else is profit. So step 5 is analyzing the data. And I think this is the number one mistake most businesses make, is they don't analyze their data. They just keep spending money on marketing and sales without asking, what's my return on investment? And then once we've analyzed the data, we're going to summarize our conclusions. We're going to sit down and we're going to say, do more of this, do less of that, keep going down this path, or we missed the mark, we have to start over. With an authority book, usually you can see the return very quickly in the first 3 to 6 months because people are inviting you to speak at local events, you're getting prospects, you're getting leads, you're meeting key strategic partners. And then you want to carefully observe the outcomes and repeat as necessary. And by the way, this is how I've formulated, I've spent the last 30 years of my professional life creating Clientology, and obviously not intentionally, I didn't know I was doing it, but I created little experiments. I said, what do I do if this happens? How would this work? What would this do? Observe the outcomes, and that's my superpower, is observing outcomes, finding patterns, and then repeating things. And once you've come up with the solution to that problem, the 8th step, so you might want to repeat these steps with the same problem until you get better and better and better, or you might look to say, what's my next problem that I want to solve? So I appreciate you. I hope you got some value out of the scientific method. Full disclosure, I was homeschooling one of my children and we had to learn the scientific method. And I went, oh my God, I've been using this. I remember studying it in grade 3 or 4. I accidentally have been using it most of my adult life. So I strongly encourage you, if you're not one of those people who likes to track and test things, find somebody who can help you. And a great place to find people like that is to join our free online Clientology community. It is a LinkedIn group. You can either scan the QR code or just type in the URL in the image. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.